Hello there. Are you currently navigating the complexities of retirement or perhaps rapidly approaching that significant life milestone? The Retiree's Handbook is your dedicated YouTube guide for all retirement and pension news right here in the United States. It's crucial to stay informed about your financial future. We cover understanding pension benefits and maximizing your Social Security, ensuring you have the knowledge you need. Our channel provides actionable financial tips for retirees, helping you confidently make the most of your golden years. Don't miss vital information that impacts your peace of mind. Join our growing community today. Thank you for watching. Your financial security and retirement is incredibly important, and we're here to help you every step. Please subscribe to the Retiree's Handbook channel to never miss our latest updates and valuable insights. Join our community for continuous support, future pension news, and helpful resources to empower your retirement journey.
Hello and welcome. There are some big changes coming down the pike for Social Security. And if you're a beneficiary, you've probably got some questions. Things like, how much is my check really going to go up? When exactly will it hit my bank account? And what's all this talk about new rules that could change things later on? Well, we're here to help you make sense of it all. The whole point of this explainer is to cut through the confusion and just give you the straight facts on what to expect in 2025. Okay, let's jump right in. So here's how we're going to break it all down for you. First, we'll get into the big one, the 2025 Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA, and what it actually means for your monthly budget. Then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty of the payment schedule so you know exactly when your money is coming. After that, we're going to look ahead at some proposed changes to the disability rules. We'll also tackle that question that always seems to pop up: what happens if there's a government shutdown? And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the key things you need to know to feel confident and in control. All right, let's get straight to the topic that hits your wallet directly: the 2025 Cost of Living Adjustment. Every single year, this is probably the most anticipated number from the Social Security Administration, because this is the adjustment that's supposed to help your benefits keep up with the cost of, well, everything. So this is the big one, right? This is the question on everyone's mind when you're trying to plan for the year ahead. It's more than just some number on a page. It affects the budget for groceries, for medicine, for rent, you name it. So, after a couple of years with some pretty wild swings, what are we looking at for 2025? The number that all the early projections are pointing to is 2.7%. Now, you gotta remember, this is just an estimate for now. The official, locked-in number comes out on October 4th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. But let's put this 2.7% in perspective. It's definitely a step down from the 3.2% we got in 2024, and it's a far cry from that huge 8.7% jump in 2023. That was the biggest in 40 years. This smaller number is happening because inflation has been cooling off, which, don't get me wrong, is a good thing for the economy. It just means a more modest bump for your benefits. So for anyone who's new to this, what exactly is the COLA? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a built-in defense mechanism for your money. Its entire purpose is to make sure that the value of your check, your actual purchasing power, doesn't get eaten away by rising prices. The whole idea is simple. When the price of gas and food goes up, your check should go up too. It helps protect your ability to afford the basics. But what does 2.7% actually mean in dollars and cents? Let's make it real. If you're getting an average benefit of, say, around $1,900 a month, this increase works out to about $51 extra each month. Over a whole year, that adds up to just over $600. Now, is it going to change your life? Maybe not. But hey, that could be a utility bill, a couple of prescription copays, or a few extra trips to the grocery store. When prices are this high, every little bit really does help. And that leads us right to the heart of the debate, the one we have every single year. An increase is an increase, and that's always good news. But does it really match up with the financial squeeze that so many seniors and beneficiaries are actually feeling day to day? This is where the official government numbers can sometimes feel pretty disconnected from real life. So you've really got two completely different ways of looking at this. On one side, you have folks who say, hey, 2.7% makes sense. Inflation is slowing down, so the COLA should too. The system's working. But on the other side, critics are saying it feels like a step behind reality. And they make a really powerful point. Slowing inflation doesn't mean prices are actually dropping. It just means they aren't going up as fast. But those high grocery and rent prices, they're still here. On top of that, a lot of people argue the formula they use to calculate all this, the CPI-W, is just plain outdated.
It's based on what younger, working people spend their money on, not retirees who spend a much bigger chunk of their income on things like healthcare, where costs always seem to be going up faster than anything else.
Okay, so we've talked about the how much. Now let's get practical and talk about the when. Knowing the exact day your money is going to show up is absolutely key to managing your budget. So let's break down the October 2025 schedule so you can circle the date on your calendar. The good news is the system is actually pretty straightforward. It all comes down to your birthday. So if you were born between the 1st and the 10th of the month, you'll get your payment on the 2nd Wednesday. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, yours comes on the 3rd Wednesday. And for everybody else born from the 21st through the end of the month, your payment arrives on the 4th Wednesday. Now, there is one important exception to keep in mind. If you're on SSI, or if you started getting Social Security way back before May of 1997, your schedule is different. And for this particular month, your payment will show up on November 3rd. And here are just a few quick pro tips to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. First, here's a great little rule. If your payment day ever falls on a weekend or a holiday, you actually get your money the business day before. So a nice little early treat. Second, the My Social Security online account is your best friend. Seriously, it's the quickest way to check on your payment, change your address, whatever you need. And finally, if you're somehow still getting paper checks in the mail, I really encourage you to switch to direct deposit. It's just so much safer and more reliable. You never have to worry about mail delays or theft. Okay, let's switch gears for a minute and look a little further down the road, because beyond the early COLA, the Social Security Administration is also looking at making some pretty big changes to the disability rules for both SSI and SSDI. And this could be a really big deal, especially for people who might need to apply in the future. So what's this all about? Well, the short version is the SSA wants to modernize how they decide who is eligible for disability. The main part of the plan is to finally update the job data they use. And get this, a lot of the job descriptions they use to decide if someone can still work are based on data from the late 1970s. I'm not kidding. We're talking about a world with jobs that barely exist anymore. So the goal is to start using current 21st century job data to, in their words, make more accurate decisions. So the process would basically work like this. First, as we said, they'd throw out that ancient job data and bring in fresh information. Next, they would take a new look at how they consider things like your age, your education, and your work history when making a call. And here's the part that has a lot of people worried. The end result of all this could be stricter standards, which might make it harder for some folks to get approved for disability benefits down the line. And as you can imagine, this has kicked off a major debate. On the one hand, supporters say the system is long overdue for an update to match the modern world. They argue using current data will make things more accurate and objective. But disability advocates are raising some serious red flags. They're worried that people with legitimate claims could be denied. For instance, think of an older worker who did physical labor his whole life and now has a bad back. The old rules kind of understood that it's tough for him to just learn a new desk job. The fear is that these new rules might look at modern job data and say, oh, he can just go be a data entry clerk, totally ignoring the real-world challenges. The bottom line is, they're concerned this modernization is just a way to approve fewer claims and cut people off from the help they need. Now, I want to be really clear about this. Nothing is happening tomorrow. These are just proposed changes. They have to go through a whole long process before anything becomes official. But this whole conversation is a pretty clear signal that the SSA is moving towards tougher standards in the future. So it's definitely something to keep on your radar, especially if you think you or a loved one might need these benefits one day. All right, let's tackle a topic that causes a ton of stress whenever it comes up in the news: a government shutdown. It's totally understandable to get worried and ask that one simple question: is my Social Security check at risk? Let me just say this right up front, loud and clear, to hopefully put your mind at ease. Your Social Security and Medicare payments are safe. Even if the government shuts down, your checks will keep coming, on time. That's because Social Security is funded separately through its own trust fund. It's not part of that annual budget that Congress argues about. It's what's called a mandatory program, so those payments will go out no matter what happens in Washington. But, and this is a big but, while your payments themselves are safe, a shutdown would still cause some major headaches. You should expect huge slowdowns with any kind of customer service. Trying to get someone on the phone? Good luck. Wait times will be way longer. Need to do something simple like replace a lost Social Security card? That could take forever. Local offices might have fewer people working, and if you're trying to apply for benefits or appeal a decision, that whole process could slow to a crawl. So the money is safe, but actually getting help from the agency could get really frustrating. Whew,
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, from the COLA and payment dates to future rule changes and shutdown fears. So let's just boil it all down and focus on the most important takeaways, the things that will really help you stay informed and feel empowered heading into 2025. Here's your game plan, nice and simple. First, pull out your calendar and mark October 24th. That's when we get the final official COLA number. Second, take 5 minutes to double-check your payment date based on your birthday and log in to your My Social Security account online to make sure all your info is up to date. Third, just keep an ear out for news about those disability rule proposals because that's a story that's going to keep developing. And last but not least, always remember that your actual benefit payments are safe, even if things get messy in Washington with a shutdown. And that quote really just says it all, doesn't it? When things are changing and when decisions made hundreds of miles away can affect your budget, staying informed isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely essential. Understanding how all this works, why changes are being made, and what your options are, that's what gives you the power to plan ahead and make smart decisions for your own financial security. And that kind of leaves us with one last big picture question to chew on. We're seeing a system that's changing. CLAs are getting smaller, the rules might get tighter, and there's always a debate about its future. So as we look ahead, we have to ask, how does this incredibly important safety net need to evolve? How can it adapt to make sure it's there to support not just everyone today, but our kids and grandkids tomorrow? It's a huge question, and it's one that affects every single one of us. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like.
Hello there. Are you currently navigating the complexities of retirement or perhaps rapidly approaching that significant life milestone? The Retiree's Handbook is your dedicated YouTube guide for all retirement and pension news right here in the United States. It's crucial to stay informed about your financial future. We cover understanding pension benefits and maximizing your Social Security, ensuring you have the knowledge you need. Our channel provides actionable financial tips for retirees, helping you confidently make the most of your golden years. Don't miss vital information that impacts your peace of mind. Join our growing community today. Thank you for watching. Your financial security and retirement is incredibly important, and we're here to help you every step. Please subscribe to the Retiree's Handbook channel to never miss our latest updates and valuable insights. Join our community for continuous support, future pension news, and helpful resources to empower your retirement journey.